I added more detail to the eyes and the nose, the mouth, the ears. I had to use a size 0 brush. It's also in the Filbert set, and so it really was quite fine. But still, in order to actually see what I'm doing, I had to pick up a painting, put it on my lap, and hold it a few centimeters from my face, just as I cannot even see my face in the mirror anymore. I can't see the painting unless I'm right up close. So that's why a lot of my paintings, I don't do a lot of fine detail until the end, and then I might do it off camera, just because I can't actually see what I'm doing when I'm holding the camera like this and the paintbrush, and I'm sitting on a chair. And if I stood now, then I'd be looking down on the painting, so I would have a distorted view of the painting, even more distorted. So I've got to be in the position a viewer would be when they looked at this painting. So as you can see, I'm just adding back the chin, the cheeks, and it's just in this mixture of burnt sienna with a bit of white, and when it's had a few moments to settle, then I'll add some highlights of the cheeks, the forehead, nose, and then she'll be back to her former beauty. Not that I think she didn't look beautiful just in the outline, but I just think it's the wrong background for the face. I mean, for sure, many people do paint abstract portraits, which is totally abstract backgrounds and just the features, and they work, but this was not that kind of exact background. Something's happening here, but I can't see, but I think the lip is gone. So I'll have to put that back. I'd rather just delete it and put it back when it's dry. I think she's now looking like a radiant bride. The paint is still wet, so you can still see all the designs underneath. I have put some blush on her cheeks. Obviously a bride would have makeup on, mascara, although most artists recommend you don't use black around the eyes, but obviously a bride would have mascara on. It's not like a child where you want everything natural. But I can't do that now while her eyes are still wet. And in any event, I need to make her eyes a little bit darker. The brown is a little bit deeper, but it's not really critical for the purposes of this painting. And I don't have to put mascara on, I can leave it like this. I just think the skin is looking a little bit too white, but I want to let it dry before I start adding any more, because at the moment while it's wet, the brush just keeps moving the paint around and it doesn't settle. It's a very slippery surface underneath, so if I do add any more, I will include that in a photo at the end, but this will be the end of the video because I think I've shown enough detail for purposes of this video. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the photograph, and please comment and let me know your thoughts, what I should have done differently, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now. The flesh tone that I used on my brush on the background of the deep sort of bluish purple has made rather a shade of grey, and of course the lighter part is showing as quite white. So here I am with more colour on my brush, more flesh tones, and a lot more of the burnt sienna. And let's see if this is going to turn out just the right colour, or if it's going to also be maybe too dark as opposed to too light as it was before. Anyway, there are some changes I need to make, so this is my opportunity to do that. There's the pink highlights on her blush on her cheeks didn't show at all. So I'm just carefully using the edge of the brush to soften those eyes. And anyway, I want to make this eye look sort of looking down a bit further. So I'll just delete all of that. And then eyebrows too, in the wrong sort of position as well. So there will be a lighter side, and this will be the darker side, obviously. I think I have to just make it all this colour and then lighten it, because otherwise the dark will just reflect through. I keep making changes, and one change leads to another, and then I see something is too dark, and then I smudge something, and I see the cheek is too wide, a certain angle, and I don't really know what I'm looking at. I don't really have a clue. I don't know what it looks like in reality, because when I stand very close it gets all distorted. When I stand far away I can't see. So, and my distance glasses, which are for walking, really don't help at all. I think that's more or less. I'm going to leave it there. I mean, I'm going to finish it, but I hopefully won't smudge anything, so I won't have to make any more changes. But I think some of her hair comes down over here. Chin is not so wide here. And some of it covers the hair, and then some falls on the other side, which I can't put in now because the paint is still wet. And then, do I or don't I? Do I use this brush where the teeth are splaying already to try and put back the eyebrow, the edge of the eye which I deleted, where I will now have to go back in to add some white. And I can feel my nail is smudging things again. Ugh. I think that's as good as it gets. I might work a bit on her mouth and teeth, but the face looks much better now, a much more natural peachy colour. It was too blue before. And so there's still a number of things I need to do to the face. And then I noticed something that had been bothering me for a long time, and that was the hand was just too close to, well, the arm was too short, the hand was too short. So I've lengthened it now. I have to wait for it to dry so I can do all the rest of the details. But again, I'm not going to do that on camera because I think that's just going to prolong this video too long. And I can do that off camera. I'm just going to try to finish the face here, and I can see that it's going to be very difficult with the camera in my hand. Oh, I can't get that eye right. Okay, so let me try and do the inner eye. Maybe it's because of this brush that I'm using, which is a very fine brush, but it's extremely difficult. So this eye sort of slants downwards just because of the angle she's standing at. And I'm using burnt umber rather than black with black. The paint has dried, and I'm going to just try to elongate the sleeve of this dress to cover the arm a bit more. Sort of goes up to just above the wrist, which it says up there. And so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm not going to worry about, well, I could do a thinner shade there just to cover it like it was a thin layer of the tulle white. And then I won't, I'll refine that hand a bit. And I need to refine the eyes. If my paint is still wet, it doesn't look like it is. Maybe I've got a bit of paint now. So then I'll refine the hand as well. Let me do this a bit first. That's too dark. To get just the right shade. And so these final little touches will just complete the painting and make her into the most beautiful bride ever. I think that's good enough. And the ears I'm still not happy with. The different colours I put in didn't actually show through. So now I'm going to put the phone down and just try to do these eyes, because every time I try to do them I seem to mess them up. I think I need to put the canvas on my lap, actually. It's the only way. I'm still reluctant to put any eyeshadow on or mascara, because using black around the eyes tends to make them look like the person is wearing false eyelashes, no matter how small you do the lashes. And they kind of just look harsh then. So maybe I'll just leave it natural like that. Everything else I'm quite happy with. It's nice and soft. So it's just the ear now that I'm not happy with, and maybe the mouth a bit. So I'm going to put the camera down and finish those little details, and then see. I need to put some more red roses back there, and then it should be complete. Thank you for watching. This is now the completed painting. I have completed the little details, like I have refined her hand a bit, added a watch and a ring and the flowers in detail. That's a little earring on her ear. I don't even know what design the earring was. I added a very, very fine thin line of black as mascara around the top of eyelashes, and I think it looks better now. I think the brown was just the wrong color. And yeah, I think the underpainting adds a lot of dimension, a lot of depth to the painting. She's standing in the sunset, a glowing bride, and the sun behind me keeps coming and going and changing the color of the painting, which is quite interesting. As it shines on it, you can see the shine and the sheen from underneath the gold, and the varnish showing through. So I think it's a great use of an acrylic pour that I wasn't happy with, or that I was, should I say, was bored with. And this is a much more interesting and lovely painting to look at. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you again in my next painting. Just please like and comment and let me know your thoughts. Bye for now.